Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hopo Moyo. I'm a pharmacy student doing my final year, and I am the PEPSA chairperson for 2023. We are going to start now. So may I ask us to rise for the academic procession? Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you very much, Hopewell. Good afternoon, colleagues, all our guests here. Good afternoon to our keynote speaker, Prof. Soji. Good afternoon to our acting HOD, Dr. Fogati. All our guests, parents, guardians, friends, all our students, and good afternoon to the graduates as well. Diyanibulisa nonke bethuna omama otata wonke umuntu lapha sithi impumelelo yabantwana benu siyayivuyela kakhulu basebenzile kule minyaka mine igqithileyo into banize nizobaxhasa siyayibulela kwaye sithulela umnqwazi kakhulu. My name is Zandisile Masebe. I am your MC for today. Before I proceed, may I request that we just spend a moment of silence just to remember where we've come from. This is a cohort of 2019 students that started before COVID. Little did they know that a year later they would be doing their studies under lockdown. They have worked very hard. They have really done tremendously for themselves. Because of that, I would like us to just have a moment of silence and also use it to remember our friends, our colleagues, our family members who have succumbed due to COVID-19 and other medical conditions such as cancer. Thank you very much. Well, the oath ceremony is a special occasion in the pharmacy department calendar. We view it as a culmination of many years of hard work from our students, and we take pride in the achievement that they've actually obtained. At this point in time, I would like to take the time to introduce our acting HOD, Dr. Fogati. Dr. Terilyn Fogati has been a registered pharmacist for 25 years and has worked in various sectors of pharmacy, including retail, primary healthcare, and in wholesale pharmacy. Since 2008, she has been a lecturer at Nelson Mandela University, and she has taken over as acting HOD since the beginning of March this year. Dr. Fogati serves as the examiner and moderator for the Pharmacist Assistant External Integrated Summative Assessment for SAPC. In addition, she is part of the accreditation and monitoring team for the new occupation certificate for pharmacy support personnel. Dr. Fogati serves on the committee of the Cape Midlands branch of the Pharmaceutical Society of South Africa, as well as International Pharmaceutical Federation Advisory Committee for Pharmacy Technicians. Over to you, Dr. Fogati.
Sorry. In our old age, we need assistance with our eyes. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to this important event in our professional lives. I say our because it's not just the professional lives of our graduates, but also us as academic staff. The oath and the white coat ceremony for our pharmacists and an award ceremony for our top students. Today we celebrate hard work, dedication, and the successful completion of the Bachelor of Pharmacy program for our graduates. So at this time, I'd just like to recognize some people that are in attendance. Prof. Soji, thank you for joining us. There you are. You see, even with my glasses on, I had to do a scan. Prof. Soji is our guest speaker. She is one of our directors of schools in our faculty, and we just thank you for being here and for giving of your time and your wisdom, because I know that's coming. Thank you, Prof. And then just to say welcome to Alice Latergan. Zandi will give you a little bit of a brief background of everyone as they come up. But Alice is the chairperson of the Cape Midlands branch of the PSSA. So thank you, Alice, for being here and again giving up your time. I know you've left work to be here. And then we have a few colleagues from the Professional Providence Society who I was chatting to, and I said, do you know how long the relationship goes back? When I was in fourth year, how many years ago? You said 25 years. PPS were doing our class photo then too. So we really have a long relationship with PPS. They're still involved with us. And so please, again, I think Zandi will express to them their thanks for their sponsorship here today, and even with our fourth years. So you would have seen them last year in fourth year, and now you're seeing them again as graduates. So we have Nelisani, we have Annelies, and we have Amakle. Thank you for joining us. And then Karen Duplessis, welcome. Karen is from Clicks, another one of our sponsors for our academic prizes. And then just to welcome the Rishworth and Penrith families. Just give me a moment. Don't do that. Thanks. Dr. Kubashe, in her capacity as a member of the Academy of Pharmaceutical Sciences, representing them to award our academic medals, to our academic staff, who without you, we wouldn't have graduates. So thank you for being here. And then, of course, to parents, family, and friends. The most important people here today, our graduates. Welcome. And I think you can give yourselves a round of applause. As pharmacists, you will be at the forefront of healthcare. You are going to be responsible for ensuring the safe and effective use of medicines. You'll be instrumental in promoting the health and well-being of individuals and communities, and you will play a vital role in our healthcare system. In tomorrow's ceremony, your degree will be conferred, but today is about taking an oath, a solemn oath, an oath to uphold the highest ethical standards of the pharmacy profession. The oath is a pledge to practice with integrity, with professionalism, and with compassion. It's a commitment to putting the needs of your patients first and to work towards their best interests. And as you take your oath today, I urge you to reflect on the privilege and the responsibility of being a pharmacist. Remember that you have a duty to serve your patients with the utmost care, diligence, and respect, and you must uphold the trust that patients and society have placed in you. Be vigilant in your commitment in providing safe, effective, and high-quality care. I congratulate you all on your achievement and wish you every success as you embark on your career as pharmacists. May you continue to grow and to develop in your profession, and always remain true to the oath you will take today. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks very much, Dr. Fogarty, for welcoming us. Now we feel at home. We can take our jackets and relax. Just before we proceed, I just want to make two announcements. The first one is just a reminder for everyone to please keep their phones on silent while we are having the proceedings. And secondly, we will be going on load shedding at 4 o'clock, unfortunately. But I'm just trying to push as quickly as we can. I'm going to request that all the speakers remain or cut their talk at least to a minimum of 5 minutes, with the exception of our keynote speaker, Prof. Soji. Without wasting any time, I'm going to now call upon Prof. Soji to come and give us the message of the day or the words of wisdom that Dr. Fogarty mentioned. Prof. Soji is the director of the School of Behavioral and Lifestyle Sciences within the Faculty of Health Sciences at Nelson Mandela University. Her highest qualification is the Doctor of Philosophy in Social Development Professions, which she obtained in 2013 with our university. Prior to joining the academy, she worked as a student counseling at the then University of Port Elizabeth, offering wellness interventions to university employees and coordinating mentorship programs. Her career span includes working in the NGO sector as a training manager and later as an employee and wellness practitioner. She offered wellness services in automotive industry, and this is basically where she developed a passion for the wellness field. She has held academic leadership positions for more than 12 years. She is passionate about research, mentorship, and coaching, as she believes that they are key unlocking potential for others. Her research interests focus on youth development, which includes academic development and resilience, leadership development, youth and family resilience, and wellness as such. She further presented research, conferences, papers, and seminars both locally and overseas, particularly in 2 universities, one in Germany and the 2 in Sweden. She serves as a board member of a few NGOs and offers training in programs on areas ranging from basic and advanced counseling skills, parenting, group work facilitation skills, communication, training, project management, leadership development, and supervising. Prof. Soji is a wife, and she's a mother of 2 boys that she adores very much. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prof. Soji.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I asked to be accompanied because I didn't want to fall. That is very slippery. I also forgot my pair of glasses. I'm at that age where I should be wearing that. So, greetings to you all. And I wish to convey greetings from Prof. Zingela, who's our Executive Dean, as well as Deputy Dean of Health Sciences. They really wanted to be here, but due to competing demands, they were not able to come here. So I'm representing them today. Allow me to recognize the acting head of department, to recognize the departmental leadership, the academic staff of the department. I want to recognize you, program leader. I know that we always forget about program leader, program director. All staff, the partners in practice, sponsors, and most importantly, to recognize the students today who will be pledging. I do know that a pledge is a very special event in the life of a student in a professional degree, or let me say, a professional in training, because you are professionals in training. I was asked to share briefly about professionalism and the importance of taking an oath in health sciences. So, true to being an academic, I wanted to define first what professionalism is all about. And I found it very difficult because I realized that professionalism is a very difficult concept to define. Some authors link it to behavioral competencies, whilst others speak about attitudinal competencies. Some are saying that it is a contextual concept. It means different things to different people in different contexts. I want to propose that whilst we acknowledge the fluidity of the concept, there are some common nuances about professionalism. And today I'd like to share about two of those nuances about professionalism. The first one conceptualizes professionalism as upholding professional values. It has been argued that being a professional involves more than just demonstrating the required behaviors. It also implies an affirmation of a certain set of fundamental values. So from this perspective, professionalism can be defined as upholding and applying the values of a profession. A profession's values are basic and fundamental beliefs. They're unquestionable premises upon which each and every profession exists. So based on this, it could therefore be argued that students and professionals who uphold the values of their profession move beyond merely complying with a code of ethics, as they have other motivators as well as goals. The second one that I want to spend a little bit more time, I promise you, I'm not going to waste time. It says that professionalism is an expression of self. It is about self-identity. When we look at our vision in our Faculty of Health Sciences, our vision is to co-create critically thinking health sciences graduates with transformative acting. I want you to underline transformative acting, who change the world by being in service of society. Now, when we're looking at transformative acting, we have 4 concepts that are embedded within that. And these concepts articulate the expression of self that is required for professionalism. The first concept, speak to the way of being. It's asking us questions around who and how am I going to be as a moral being and an ethical being. So it's asking you as professionals in training, as academics, as professionals in this room, who are you? And who are you going to be as a moral being? Who are you going to be as an ethical being? In health sciences, we require graduates with a heart and soul. And I'm sure you understand when I say with a heart and soul. Graduates who will serve with great dedication, humility, and empathy. This way of being speaks to attitudes and behaviors. It places emphasis on the self. It places emphasis on your ability to be able to influence yourself. Because you can never be able to influence others if you can't influence yourself. So it's important that you will understand yourself, that you have that ability to be able to influence others. We need graduates who serve with honesty and integrity, not compromising on their values, both personal values and professional values, no matter what. Striving to do what is right, even when it means taking a hard road. And believe me, there are those times when you will have to make difficult decisions, even if it means being alone, walking alone, if you know it is about doing the right thing. Honesty and integrity also implies being fair, honoring and fulfilling your promises and purpose. It is about holding oneself accountable for your thoughts, because nobody can influence your thoughts, for your words and your actions, even when you have made a mistake. You take accountability for that. That means being true professional. The second one speaks to a way of relating to others. It is about treating others with respect, acknowledging the worth and dignity of all human beings, irrespective of their class, race, sexual orientation, religion, etc. Now, this is a true essence of humanism that is central to professionalism. Being forthright in interacting with others. A third one, the way of knowing. How do we know? We know through reading, which means you need to continuously learn and having that ability to learn. We know through seeing, but it depends on what are we seeing and whose lenses are we wearing when we are seeing. I want to challenge you that as you are learning, as you enter into others' contexts, as you enter into others' lives, view their worlds through their own lenses. Because if you're going to wear your own lens, you're going to miss the point. And it's going to be very easy for you to judge them because you are looking at their world through your own lenses. Always recognize the need for guidance. I always say self-awareness is key because self-awareness helps us to recognize our abilities and limitations. So again, I want to encourage you and challenge you, listen to your voice. That small voice that will always tell you what to do, what's right. Most of the time we switch that voice because we don't want to listen to it. And I want you to listen to that voice. It's going to tell you a lot about yourself and about others. When you recognize the need for guidance, then it means you will have a teachable spirit and you will be open to continually learning. The fourth concept speaks to a way of doing. This is about demonstration of unselfish regard and devotion to the welfare of others. Again, it speaks to the need to pursue excellence in all that you do. So, today as students, as you will be undertaking an oath, remember that you are making a public declaration. You are making a declaration to abide by the values and professional ethics of your discipline. You are entering into a social contract between yourselves, your profession, your alma mater, and society at large, that you will at all times be committed to ethical conduct as you serve and be of service to society. This then requires you to be socially conscious student or professional in training who possess the ability to recognize and understand what is happening around you. Be aware, be conscious about what's happening around you. Having a commitment to contribute towards addressing issues of inequality. Yes, as pharmacists, you have to challenge issues of inequality. You have to be able to address issues of health inequity. Applying a social justice lens when working with communities to ensure that we challenge those actions that perpetuate the injustices of the past. We want you to rather encourage those actions that respect the worth and dignity of all people. Being able to see without judgment. Choosing to engage without an expectation of reciprocation. This oath, therefore, is a way to highlight your professional values and ethics. It is a means to increase collective and individual accountability. It is a promise that you are making to yourself, your discipline, and society at large, that you will always, always, always demonstrate professionalism, excellence, integrity, accountability, social responsiveness, and resilient wellness. I want to congratulate you on making it this far. And I want you to be the light that we want to see, because it is only through you that we are able to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Soji. What an important and topical subject to speak to our students at this point in time, that of professionalism. Prof. Soji touched on many things, but more to me was honesty, integrity, and humanism. It makes me think of this oath as a way that speaks to us going out to help our patients, being there for our patients at all times. Many surveys have been done to ask pharmacy students at the beginning and also at the end, why have you chosen to do pharmacy? In most cases, students answer to say that I want to help others. I want to be of service to the humanity. You can only be of service to the humanity if you remain true to the profession, you remain professional, and it also speaks very well to the principles of Batupele, which says people first in everything that we do, our patients first. Thank you very much with those few words, Prof. Soji. Moving on to introduce now the next speaker, who is Mrs. Alice Latekhan. Okay, I've got so many notes in front of me. Right. Mrs. Latekhan graduated with a BPharm degree from Potchefstroom. Now it's called the Northwest University. She completed her internship in retail pharmacy in Durban. After getting married, she moved to Namibia, where she worked in a government clinic for about a year. There was no pharmacy in town, only dispensing doctors. So she decided to open her own pharmacy. A few years later, her family relocated to the Eastern Cape and worked in Fort Beaufort pharmacy for several years. In 1994, her family moved to Gqeberha and took up a position at Mediscore Walker Drive Pharmacy, which was one of the first pharmacies in town that was taken over by the Clicks Group. She then moved over to the public sector and joined Livingston Hospital, where she remained until today. She has been a registered tutor for many years and saw many interns and pharmacy assistants come and go. Mrs. Latekhan has a special interest in HIV and TB. She has always been actively involved in PSSA as a student. Mrs. Latekhan currently serves as a committee member of the SA Association of Hospital and Institutional Pharmacies, and also as a chairperson Mrs. Latekhan currently serves as a committee member of the SA Association of Hospital and Institutional Pharmacists of the Eastern Cape since 2006. She was elected as a chairperson for the term 2019 to 2020 at a challenging time where we were under COVID lockdown. Her involvement with PSSA Cape Midlands branch started in 2009, where she represented Sahib Eastern Cape on the committee. Mrs. Latekhan is currently the chairperson of PSSA Cape Midlands branch and represents pharmacists all over at a national level. Over to you, Mrs. Latekhan.
It's overwhelming to see so many people, so I'm going to take my glasses off that I can't see you, but you can see me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I firstly want to thank Dr. Fogarty and the Pharmacy Department of NMU for inviting me to this prestigious event. I feel honored and privileged to represent the Pharmaceutical Society of South Africa, in particular the Cape Midlands branch. So interns, if I might call you that, tomorrow is your big day where you would be graduates. I want to share a story with you. Many years ago, there was a little girl that went shopping with her mother. And as they entered this one particular shop, the detail remained with her, and she could clearly remember the silence in the shop. It was almost serene. And there was a very friendly lady behind the cash register that served her mom. And she was staring at a man behind a counter. He was wearing a white coat. He was concentrating and he was busy mixing something. As they left the shop, she asked her mom, "What was that man doing?" And her mother said, "He's a pharmacist. He mixes ointments and syrups and gives medicine to patients. He helps sick people." And she looked up to her mom and said, "I also want to be a pharmacist one day." She was only 10 years old. That little girl was me. By the grace of God, I became a pharmacist. Through hard work, commitment, and dedication. The past 36 years of my career have not been without obstacles. Yet, I still enjoy my job. And as you heard, I'm actively involved in the association. And I am not thinking of retirement yet. And it brings me to something that I will always remember. We have a patient in our outpatient clinic, in the infectious disease clinic. He comes there every month to collect his repeat scripts or to see the doctor. And he's quite loud. So when he enters the door, everybody knows Mr. X is here. So when he sees me, he would say, "Oh, Gogo, are you still here? You are getting old now. You should retire." But I promise you, if I'm on leave or I'm not there the particular day that he's there and he sees me again the next month, he just starts clapping his hands. So you could also ask me, at my age, why am I still so active and still loving my job? And I can clearly answer, it's my passion for the profession. If you chose pharmacy as a career for the money, you will soon find out it's not giving you satisfaction. If your parents chose this career for you, the same would apply. So I would say, have passion for your profession. I work in a hospital that is in the news for all the wrong reasons. And yes, we read the newspapers, we read social media, and it really hurts sometimes to read the criticism and what the public say about your institution. But what motivates me to go to work every day is the fact that I know that I can make a difference. So most of you are, I suppose, now busy with your internship. What Albert Einstein said is so true. He said, "The only source of knowledge is experience." And as an experienced pharmacist and a tutor, I would like to share some words of advice. And you've heard similar words just now in Prof. Soji's speech. So my words of advice in your workplace is the following. Be professional, be diligent, respect your colleagues, other healthcare professionals, and the most important, the patients. Be punctual, be on time for work, be on time for meetings. Be honest and reliable. Show your willingness to learn. We are lifelong learners. If you don't know an answer to a question, be honest and say, "I'm sorry, I do not know, but I will find out and I will get back to you." Find a mentor. If it's not your tutor, find someone that you can trust and look up to. Today you are here to pledge an oath, and I want to say to you, remember those words for the rest of your life. You will experience situations in your career where this oath will be tested. This is also your white coat ceremony today. For me, the white coat resembles purity, cleanliness, professionalism. Be proud to wear your coat in the workplace. I have done so since I started to work in the public sector, and I wear it with pride. For those of you that is working in the corporate sector, I know that you have to wear your company's uniform, yet you still represent the white coat. I want to make a statement today. You cannot and you will not have a successful career if you isolate yourself. And this brings me to the Pharmaceutical Society. We are the only organization who represents you and your interests. We strive to promote our profession and to protect our profession. Those of you who played team sport will know there's a brotherhood or a sisterhood in a team. It's something special. And we are there for each other. It gives you a feeling of belonging. So if you join the society, like many do, for professional indemnity, you may get to the point where you say, I'm going to end my membership because PSSA does nothing for me. But the crux is, be an active member. Let your voice be heard. Attend the CPDs, the workshop, etc. Young people, you are the next generation of pharmacy leaders. We need you. So please join the society so that we can mentor you to become these leaders. To conclude, the words of Albert Einstein, old Albert again, it resonates with me. He said, strive not to be a success, but rather be of value. So on behalf of the Pharmaceutical Society Cape Midlands branch, I would like to congratulate you on your achievements and on one of the biggest events in your life, your graduation tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lattergan. I now invite Mrs. Lattergan to please present the PSSA prize and certificate to a BPharm 1 first year student, a top student. His name is Mr. Amar Davids. Okay, I now present Ms. Karen du Plessis to announce prize winner for BPharm 2, BPharm 3, and BPharm 4. Ms. Karen du Plessis is a graduate from our university, Nelson Mandela University Pharmacy School. She completed her internship in retail pharmacy and remained there for the first few years of her career. She later diversified her experience to hospital pharmacy and pharmaceutical warehousing, and finally in corporate pharmacy now, where she is currently the regional pharmacy practice manager for Clicks in the Eastern Cape. In addition, she holds a Bachelor of Philosophy in Marketing Management and Business Management qualifications. Karen is passionate about pharmacy and the diverse opportunities that offers the graduates across all fields. She is committed to ensuring that quality healthcare and good pharmacy practice is maintained in all pharmacies that she is responsible for. Over to you, Ms. du Plessis. Okay, right. The award for the Clicks BPharm 2 second year student goes to Ms. Taryn Daniels. The award for the BPharm 3 third year student presented by Clicks goes to Ms. KCL. The award for the fourth year prize for Click's representative goes to Felicia Lattepa. May I please announce that the students just received awards now mustn't go too far because we're going to be needing them quite soon. All right, in terms of my program at the moment, I'm going to introduce Dr. Kubashe to talk about the Academy of Pharmaceutical Sciences. While Dr. Kubashe is preparing to come to the stage, I'm going to just introduce her qualifications. She's qualified with a BPharm degree from the University of Port Elizabeth. She also holds an MPharm in pharmacology from Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University and a PhD in pharmacy practice also from Nelson Mandela University. Her work experience involves having worked as an oncology pharmacist in a hospital, and she has also fulfilled many roles in manufacturing industry, namely in liquids packaging, document control, and product release as a QA pharmacist. She has also spent some time in primary health care, working and responsible for 13 clinics that are underprivileged. Dr. Kubashe is now an academic pharmacist that is working as a senior lecturer at Nelson Mandela University. Her previous role was that of acting HOD in 2018 and an HOD from 2019 to 2021. Dr. Kubashe's professional affiliation includes being the secretary for the Academy of Pharmaceutical Sciences of South Africa. She's also the member of a specialist task team for accreditation and monitoring of the BPharm program and accreditation standards. She's also the evaluator for pharmacy support personnel in the South African Pharmacy Council. She's also a task team member that is tasked to develop the criteria for the accreditation of the BPharm learning programs and curriculum outline for higher education and training within the South African Pharmacy Council. She's also the evaluator of the QCTO qualification for pharmacy support personnel, and now as a mentor in Health South Africa. Dr. Kubashe is an NMU delegate and committee member at TAU, which is the teaching advancement at universities. Over to you, Dr. Kubashe.
Good afternoon to our guest speaker, the Honorable Prof. Soji. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We appreciate it. I want to say good afternoon to my fellow colleagues, including the MC, our parents, and most importantly, our graduates. I also want to recognize our Dean in her absence, Professor Zukiswa Zingela, our Deputy Dean, Professor Van Rooyen, and we are very much humbled that they gave us the apology for not being here, but made sure that they give us someone who's going to represent them. I want to recognize my colleagues as well, because without my colleagues, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to recognize my colleagues. Most importantly then, I want to welcome and acknowledge and greet our parents, and significant others to our graduates, and most importantly, our graduates. I want to say on behalf of my colleagues, your aunts and uncles, in the absence of your parents, we are very proud of you. This is a job well done. So you deserve a very warm round of applause. As Prof. Soji was speaking, I was writing down a little bit because I wasn't prepared to speak. And when she said her speech, I realized why I actually have a visual projected behind me. I identified that there are certain limitations, and I recognize them to myself. I don't want to pronounce serotonin as serotonin, and then someone doesn't understand what I'm saying. So it's self-awareness as well, to make sure that even those people that are visual can actually follow my presentation. As a secretary to Academy of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I just wanted to give a brief background to what the APSSA is all about. PSSA started with 7 people in King Williamstown. That was in 1885. A group of pharmacists got together and they decided to maintain, recognize, and exercise their autonomy. From there, this extended to provinces where each province was represented. Then on the 1st of January 1946, we had Pharmaceutical Society of South Africa being formed, and it became a very powerful instrument for the advancement in South Africa. APSSA then became an element of the PSSA in September 1978, with its major focus being to unleash the innovative aspects of our profession and our professional skills. That means this is a voice of the academics, concentrating specifically on the pharmaceutical sciences, pharmaceutics, chemistry, and molecular pharmacology. In this professional body, it has free membership for the students. This sector of PSSA, it motivates students to exercise their autonomy and unleash their potential, their innovative potential into being pharmacists that we are meant to be. So on the 31st of August to the 2nd of September 2023, we will be having a conference as APSSA, where you will be seeing what pharmacists really do. How do we develop drugs, where we showcase our exclusive skill, which is product development. So students are very much motivated to go, encouraged to go and attend this. With those few words, I want to thank you and congratulations once again to our graduates.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kubashe. I now invite Dr. Kubashe to award the Academy of Pharmaceutical Sciences medals to the following students. We're starting off with the BPharm 1 student, top student. That goes to Mr. Amma Davids. For second year, the award goes to Ms. Taryn Daniels. For third year, it goes to Miss Casey Els. And the fourth year student is Miss Felicia Latejan. Thank you. I now invite Dr. Fogati to present the top 5 BPharm awards. All right, I'm going to read it and expect that all students come at the same time. The award for number 5 goes to Chelisa Rath. In fourth place, we've got Nondobeko Ramatibela. Yes. Nontobeko Ramatibela. Okay, in third place we have Miss Kai Maklachan. Second place goes to Miss Els Marie Duplessis. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, this is a certificate for academic achievement for top 5 BPharm 4 students of 2022. And the first prize goes to Miss Felicia Latata. Now, let me just also explain something about this particular award. It is a culmination of the weighted average from BPharm 1 to BPharm 4. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. I'm about to call Dr. Kritiotis Germanis on stage to come and present an achievement certificate for clinical achievement for hospital program top 5 BPharm students of 2022. Dr. Kritiotis is currently the head of clinical pharmacy and the stream advisor in the pharmacy department. She's also our senior lecturer in pharmacology. She also serves on Provincial Casualty Assessment Committee for Pharmacovigilance. She's a qualified pharmacist that holds a BPharm degree, an MSc, and a PhD, all qualifications obtained in our university. Over to you, Dr. Kritiotis. All right, I'm going to start.
She's just going to say a few words. Sorry, Zandi. It's fine. No problem. It's fine, Zandi. Good afternoon, everyone. I think Zandi is very excited to announce the winners. They didn't give me a chance to explain the award, so bless Zandi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In my capacity as the head of clinical pharmacy, it's my honor today to provide a brief description regarding these prestigious clinical awards. The initiative to award the top pharmacy clinical students was initiated in 1994 and is based on student performance in our unique hospital program. Students working in groups are rotating at 3 to 4 different sites around the Bay. 3 of these are tertiary level hospitals and there's 1 psychiatric facility. So exposure to these sites diversifies and enriches the educational experience and understanding of students in real-life hospital settings. Each student group is assigned to one of these 4 sites on a 2-week rotational basis and is required to complete a series of tasks. These tasks include, but are not limited to, screening patient files, making pharmacist interventions to optimize patient care, choosing compelling patient case studies, and compiling weekly reports that assess the appropriateness of the medications that the patients are taking, and responding to drug information requests from various healthcare practitioners at these sites. The final mark, as you would expect, is comprised of multiple components which reflect both group work activities in the form of the weekly case reviews and individual tasks. For example, the infamous open book assessments, oral examinations, and submission of clinical portfolios. I know you just want to clap because you won't have to do those again, so give yourself a clap for getting through that. Yeah, the 0 criteria. Needless to say, we weren't the most popular, but you got through it like we said, and it wasn't as bad. We hope you're not killing too many people out there. Right, so in closing, we know that the module ZCP 400 has a reputation for being time-consuming, complex, and challenging, and thus students who manage to excel are basically dedicating their time perpetually. They are disciplined, they are diligent, they've got a strong work ethic and a sound pharmacology knowledge. So without further ado, let's find out who excelled on the clinical platform in 2022.
Okay, so the achievement certificate for clinical achievement for hospital program, top 5 BPharm students of 2022, starting off with number 5 is Mr. Amar Sako Hasim. Okay, the 4th position goes to Miss Melanie Kelly Felix. At position 3, we've got Donay Fori. Second spot was snatched by Felicia Latechan. Ladies and gentlemen, the award for Clinical Achievement Hospital Program for 2022 goes to Miss Sky McLachlan. Thank you very much. I'm about to introduce Mrs. Janet Berry to provide the background on the Jane Rishworth Award for the most professional graduate. And at the same time, I would like to invite Nelisani and Jazula to also come up on stage, please. Mrs. Berry is a lecturer in the pharmacy department. There she is, next to me. She graduated with a BPharm and an MPharm degree in the same institution. Mrs. Perry took over organizing the Pharmacy Oath over 10 years ago, and at that time, the drive was to give the award to the most professional graduate along with sponsors PPS. Then it seems appropriate that she presents the new name and reasons behind the new name herself. Over to you, Mrs. Perry.
Thank you, Cindy. Good afternoon, graduates, students, special guests, and colleagues. So for 10 years, I've been organizing this event. This is the first time I've spoken at this event. I think I must also take my glasses off, just so I can't see Dr. Fogarty in the front row. In January this year, we lost a very dear friend and colleague, Mrs. Jane Rishworth, an alumni of this university and a pharmacy staff member of more than 10 years. Graduates, I'm sure that you all met Mrs. Rishworth at some stage on your NMU journey. She compiled the Code of Conduct booklet that you all signed in first year. Do you remember that? As you were starting out, that feels like a very long time ago. Mrs. Rishworth also spent most of her time in the hospitals, guiding students in their weekly rotations. And it was here that she observed your professional behavior in a clinical environment. She was always the first to nominate the recipient for this special award, actually. Mrs. Rishworth was diagnosed with cancer in 2022, and she fought bravely with her family and friends supporting her. She finally succumbed to her illness earlier this year. She's sorely missed by us all in the pharmacy department and by her very special family that have joined us here today. David, Amelia, and Jonathan Rishworth, Rob and Gay Penrith, Jane's parents, and Jane's auntie, Merlene Penrith. We are so happy that you could join us here today for this special occasion. So it's with a heavy heart and a very great honor that I get to introduce to you the Jane Rishworth Award for the most professional graduates. The award is sponsored, and that's the Sandy, you can do a show everybody, point it, no, the award. Okay. The award is sponsored by PPS and presented annually to the pharmacy graduate who is voted for by the pharmacy department academic staff to be the most professional in the fourth year class, in the way that you carried yourself at university and especially in the work environment during your hospital rotations. As a department, we decided to name this award in Mrs. Rishworth's honor to be a constant reminder to us all of someone who epitomized kindness and professional behavior in our field of pharmacy. Please join me for another moment of silence as we remember our heavenly angel, Mrs. Jane Rishworth. Thank you. I'd like to invite Nelisani from PPS to please come and join me on stage to hand over the award, the prize, and the certificates to this year's recipient. This year, the Jane Rishworth Award for Most Professional Graduates, sponsored by PPS. Okay, wait, let's just wait. Keep you hanging for another few minutes. Thanks. Just a little bit further. This year, I'll repeat that. This year, the Jane Rishworth Award for the Most Professional Graduate, sponsored by PPS, goes to Oyisa Ngwendu.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mrs. Perry. In the program, I am now going to introduce induction. Well, basically, the first question is, what is induction? Why are we doing it? It's basically the action or a process of inducing someone to a post or an organization. Ngesintu sithi siyanamkela kwisigaba esitsha sobomi. Ukuba nithathe idyokwe nibheke phambili nibe ngosomachiza abaphume izandla. What is a white coat? In the past, or historically, a beige coat used to be worn by scientists in laboratories in the 1800s, and the medical doctors wore coats that were black in the 1900s. However, white coats became more acceptable because stains were visible and also to prevent contamination. The concept basically originated in scientific laboratories to symbolize and incorporate the scientific principles in practice of medicine. The first white coat ceremony was held in 1989 at the University of Chicago School of Medicine. In South Africa, Mr. Clive Stanton, who was the former national president of PSSA, initiated the concept of formally recognizing the induction of our newly qualified pharmacists into the profession, and thus the white coat ceremony became into being. White coat is basically it denotes pureness, it denotes hope and hygiene, and at the same time, how I see it is that it speaks to a high level of professionalism and humanism at the same time, which I've already indicated that it's in line with the basis of Patupile, which is people first. All right, moving on. In terms of my program, I think I'm left now with 15 minutes before the load shedding. I'm going to request that our students or our graduates please put their white coats at this point in time. You've been inducted into the profession. All right, guys, before you sit down, can you please turn around and face your parents and tell them you're pharmacists?
Just wait until they're all dressed and
Yes.
then they can face us again.
Okay, sure. One last round of applause. Guys, while you're looking so good, you're about to come up and read your oath. So please keep your coats on, don't take it off. The next item on the agenda, I'm about to call now Prof. Bodenstein to come and tell us about the pharmacy oath. Prof. Bodenstein completed his undergraduate degree in pharmacy as well as postgraduate degree with specialization in pharmacology at Northwest University. Thereafter, he went abroad to the United States to complete his postdoctoral training in pharmacology at the University of Michigan Medical School, Ann Arbor. Upon returning to South Africa, he joined the University of KwaZulu-Natal as a lecturer in the discipline of pharmaceutical science, where he was later promoted to senior lecturer. He accepted a position as associate professor in the Faculty of Pharmacy at Rhodes University, where he served as the pharmacotherapy module coordinator in clinical pharmacy. Currently, he is appointed as the associate professor in the Department of Pharmacy at Nelson Mandela University, where he teaches clinical pharmacology. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you, Mr. Masebi, for that very nice introduction. Good afternoon to everyone present and congratulations from my side to all the graduates. Tomorrow you will be a graduate student, and then you will be able to function in the pharmacy sector. So congratulations again from my side. Just to provide you with a brief background of the oath-taking, you might ask yourself, how old is the profession of pharmacy? If you do a little bit of research, you'll find that the earliest pharmaceutical text discovered is very, very old. So I did some research, and then I saw that the earliest text discovered was around 2100 BC, and specifically it was discovered by, and it was used by the Mesopotamians. You can also ask yourself the question, how old is the pharmacy that is still functioning? And if you do a little bit of research, you'll then see that the oldest still functioning pharmacy is in Italy, specifically by the name of the Santa Maria Novella in Italy. That pharmacy has been functioning since 1221, just to give you an idea of how old the profession is. Another symbol of pharmacy that we did not speak about is the mortar and the pestle. So you'll come across that whenever you are involved in pharmacy. And it symbolizes the pounding and the grinding of ingredients to make medication to give to patients to help with healing. The oath-taking itself, if I have to summarize it in one sentence, I would say it's basically an ethical code of conduct to withhold and uphold the best interest of the patient at all times, and then secondly, to maintain confidentiality of patient information. It was introduced in 1999 by the PSSA, only in English and Afrikaans, and then throughout the years, notable NMU graduates of our institution, they went and then they translated it into isiXhosa as well as Sepedi. And then I would like to conclude what was said by Sir William Oster. The practice of medicine is an art, not a trade. A calling, not a business. A calling in which your heart will be exercised equally with your head. So your heart and your head needs to work together in the profession. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that introspective oath ceremony presentation. At this point in time, I would like to call upon our groups of students to come, as indicated in their groups, to read the oath. I'm starting off with group 1 to please stand first. And then please make your way to the front. A little bit forward. Thank you. Please follow after me. As pharmacist, solemnly pledge to devote myself to the well-being of humanity and to the relief of suffering, which I now regard as my calling in life.
Suffering, which I now regard as my calling in life.
Okay, so we're going to go together now to obey and maintain the ethical standards of pharmacy,
to continuously renew,
to continuously renew, just hold on. It's too small.
to continuously renew, augment, and improve my knowledge and expertise in order to fulfill the obligations of a pharmacist. To uphold the profession of pharmacy as the custodian of medicine and regard medicine as the instrument entrusted to me to protect and improve the quality of life, not to divulge improperly any personal or confidential matter, directly or indirectly, confided to me by my patients or clients even after their death. That my primary goal will be the fulfillment of the demands of my profession, and that neither personal gain nor quest for glory will take precedence in the execution of my duty. To cooperate with other healthcare workers, if need be, to achieve my professional objective and the desired therapeutic outcome. That I have taken this oath voluntarily in full realization of the confidence and responsibilities placed upon me. And now go forth to discharge my duties to the best of my ability and true to the dictates of my conscience.
Thank you. Okay, you may leave the podium. Okay, group 2, please prepare to come up. Yeah. Okay, I got it. In acknowledgement of the ultimate destiny, okay, we're going together, right? In acknowledgement of the ultimate destiny of mankind, and in the presence of my teachers, my peers, my family, and all other witnesses assembled here today, I, your name, as a pharmacist, solemnly pledge to obey and maintain the ethical standards of pharmacy, to uphold the profession of pharmacy as a custodian of medicine and regard medicine as the instrument that my primary goal will be the fulfillment of the demands of my profession, and that that I have taken the oath voluntarily I now go forth to discharge my duties to the best of my ability. Ready, group 3, in acknowledgement of the ultimate destiny of mankind. I, your name, as a pharmacist, solemnly pledge to devote myself to obey and maintain the ethical standards of pharmacy, to uphold the profession of pharmacy, not to divulge properly any personal or confidential matter directly or indirectly confided to me by my patients or clients even after death. That my primary goal will be the fulfillment of the demands of my profession to cooperate with other healthcare workers if need be. To uphold the profession of pharmacy as the custodian of medicines in regard
directly or indirectly, confided to me by my patients or clients, even after death.
that my primary goal will be the fulfillment of the demands of my profession to cooperate with other healthcare workers if need be,
to achieve my professional objectives and the desired therapeutic outcome, that I have taken the scope of therapy to improve the realization of confidence and the responsibilities placed upon me. I now go forth to discharge my duties to the best of my ability and strive to take sake of my functions.
reminder, while Group 6 is coming down to do an oath in Isipedi, may all our prize winners stay behind for book photos.
Sorry.
Come on, Group 6, that's your own language. Dr. Lubuno has 18 years experience as a pharmacist. 11 of those years were spent in academia. She's also worked in various pharmaceutical companies as a regulator affairs pharmacist and also in quality assurance. Dr. LK has experience in working at SAPC as an evaluator of new applications for registration and variation of products. At some stage, she also worked as a regulator affairs and QMS consultant for submissions in Africa and the SADC region. I'm talking about dossiers now. Dr. Lubuno is a registered pharmacist holding a BPharm, an MSc and a PhD, all obtained in our university. Over to you, Dr. Lubuno.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think I have the easiest task of all speakers today, because mine is just to thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank responsive. Without whom an occasion like this is not possible. Our corporate sponsors sponsor the jackets that our graduates are wearing, and I can see BPS sponsors of the emblem that is displayed on the pocket. We've also mentioned, as we've been handing out the prizes have been sponsored. Some are sponsored by Clicks, thank you. Others are sponsored by APSSA group, and we also have others that have been handed out and sponsored by APSSA. I really, here comes, I really opened the podium to my colleagues trustessly, because there are so many people that I need to thank. Firstly, I wish to thank Mrs. Wood. Thank you for making time to come through, and for your wise words to our graduates. And I say to our graduates, but also to us as professionals, because as we listen, we start to reflect, and we think about our practice as professionals, and we remind. Mrs. Latcombe, thank you also for coming through, and always for making time and supporting our department. And we really are grateful of the relationship that you have with us, and we look forward to continue teaching. Then Ms. Dorsey, thank you also for coming through. So that it's a very busy week also, but thank you for making the time to come through. And again, we have a wonderful relationship with Clicks. We shall continue to bring forward. Dr. Gubash, I thank you because you're very you get many things, and this one specifically is as an APSSA representative. And otherwise I'll come through when I speak to as a colleague in the department. Ms. Nidisan, thank you also to you and BPS. Whenever we come calling, or you can reach out with a photo and with jackets, we really appreciate the relationship we have with you, and also look forward to continuing our relationship. Then this is not any order of importance. It's just I was noting whom I should thank as I was going along and I was thanking them. So if I call for another person, it's not because I consider one to be more important than the other. I really wish to make a very heartfelt thank you to the Rishwas and the families for coming through this afternoon. It is very close to our hearts. So thank you for leaving it to us for those years and for coming through this afternoon. I would like to thank Mrs. Eloise Kubakula. If you didn't know, I'm sure you probably have seen her, but our graduates, if you don't know who Mrs. Kubak is, here she is. You have seen many, many emails from her. She needs no introduction. Eloise, her lifesaver. Thank you. Thank you. You keep knocking, and we shall continue to do so. Thank you so much for just being you. Thank you. Philip and our colleagues from Shared Services, Anya, Yanri, again, lifesavers. We always come knocking on your doors, and with big smiles, we come and you help us through, and we put together a wonderful program. So thank you. I'm happy to finally say something. After so many years of organizing. Janet, maybe this either. It's me. Anyways, you pull it off. We don't know how. Yeah, we don't know how, but you just pull everybody together and get started. Thank you again, both. It's wonderful. It really looks good. I think it's just. Mr. Masini, we always put you as our MC, and I was sitting here and saying, you have to say goodbye to Mr. Masini. What is he going to say? And then I was just talking, I was like, where did he get this information from? So, yes, you are not next to the services of MC shall continue. Thank you for that. Colleagues in the department, without us all coming together and working as this wonderful team, we wouldn't have all these graduates sitting for us. When I think about I can't hide in PE when I'm good. I can't go into a pharmacy and think I'm going to be anonymous. I'm working there and no one's going to know who I am. And that just speaks to how many pharmacists this department has produced. And that is not a small, high quality business. So thank you to, I'm not excluding myself, but when I say thank you to you, pulling together and doing this is just, and graduates, I keep wanting to call you students. This is not disrespectful in any way. I'm an industrial pharmacist, so I speak of I'm also a student product. This is an outcome of, this is at the end of a line. This is at the end of its output. This is output. Yes, we still have pipeline, but this is output. And we're so proud. We stand, we're looking at this, and it's because of all this light and hours and, blood, sweat, and tears and happy hours that we have. So thank you so much for all of the hard work to do. I think I've covered. I'm very proud. I'd like to thank our photographer. Beautiful photos. I don't really like photos, but your photos I keep. So thank you for that. So I know what this week is going to be beautiful. So thank you for that. And Pepsa, for just ushering and making sure that we don't get lost and sitting where they're supposed to be. There's order. Okay, I've saved people. Alright, so then I've got my second last, and that's how I mentioned. Yes, Dr. Carletti. Thank you for leading this team, for steering us. It's a big ship to drive. So, but thank you for doing that, and we appreciate the work that you're doing. Then finally, and I'm so happy to see so many loved ones in the audience. Thank you for the support and just walking the journey with our students who are now graduates. Without you, many would not be sitting where they're sitting today. Pharmacy is a difficult journey. On the way, some throwing heads up in the air that I don't know what these lecturers want from me. I'm headed, I'm packing my bags, I'm coming home. And because of you, it disappeared. So thank you for that. And thank you also for being here today and tomorrow and just celebrating with us. Yeah, I think I hopefully have covered everything. Thank you.
covered everything. What's left now? Alright, what's left for me now is just to announce one little sentence. But before I do that, one of our colleagues is celebrating her birthday today. Her name is Celeste Nodier. Audience? Okay. Happiness, please, graduates, remember to fill in your forms on the appointment cards and then hand it over to PPS as well before the end of the day. Audience, please stand for academic procession.